Stop walking right now. No, seriously. What if I told you that everything you thought you knew about staying healthy after 60 was completely wrong? For decades, we have been told that walking is the gold standard for senior fitness. Doctors recommend it. Your friends swear by it. But here is something that will shock you. A groundbreaking study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine analyzed over 15,000 participants and found something that turned the fitness world upside down. Isometric exercises like wall workouts reduced the risk of cardiovascular events by an incredible 36% more than traditional walking. That is not a small difference. That is a massive game changer. Think about this for a moment. You could spend 45 minutes walking around your neighborhood, or you could spend 15 minutes against a wall in your own living room and get better results. The science does not lie. Research from the Mayo Clinic proceedings showed that isometric wall exercises improved systolic blood pressure by an average of 8.2 millimeters of mercury. Walking only improved it by 3.1. That is nearly triple the benefit in less than half the time. And it gets even better. A Japanese study tracking over 2,000 adults over 60 found that those who performed regular wall exercises had a 42% lower rate of falls compared to those who only walked. Now I know what you are thinking. How can leaning against a wall possibly be better than walking? The answer lies in how your muscles work. When you do wall exercises, you create something called isometric tension. Your muscles are working hard, but they are not moving through a range of motion. This puts unique stress on your muscle fibers that walking simply cannot replicate. And for people over 60, this type of exercise is pure gold for bone density, joint health, and functional strength. But here is where things get really interesting. The number one exercise on this list is so powerful that a study from Harvard Medical School found it reduced the biological age markers in participants by an average of 4.7 years. 4.7 years younger at a cellular level. Just from one simple wall exercise that takes less than 2 minutes to perform. Stick around because I promise you that exercise will change everything you think about fitness after 60. Before we begin, let us know in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We read and reply to every single comment, so drop your comments below. Now let us start with exercise number 8 and work our way up to the most important one. Number 8. Wall calf raises. Let us start with an exercise that looks incredibly simple, but delivers results that will surprise you. The wall calf raise is your secret weapon for building lower leg strength and improving circulation. And before you dismiss this as too easy, let me share some numbers that will change your mind. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology examined calf muscle strength in adults over 60 and found something remarkable. Participants who performed regular calf exercises showed a 28% improvement in ankle stability within just 8 weeks. Why does this matter? Because ankle stability is the foundation of everything you do on your feet. Walking upstairs, getting out of a chair, stepping over obstacles. It all starts with your calves and ankles working together. Here is how you do this exercise properly to get the maximum benefits. Stand facing the wall about 1 foot away. Place both palms flat against the wall at shoulder height. Your feet should be hip-width apart and pointing straight forward. Now slowly rise up onto your toes, lifting your heels as high as you can. Hold this position at the top for 2 full seconds. Then lower yourself back down in a controlled manner. The key word here is controlled. Do not just drop your heels. Lower them slowly over 3 to 4 seconds. The reason this slow lowering phase matters so much is because of something called eccentric muscle contraction. When your muscle lengthens under tension, it creates tiny micro tears that heal stronger than before. Research from the University of Connecticut showed that eccentric exercises increased muscle protein synthesis by 47% more than exercises without this slow lowering phase. You want to aim for 15 repetitions and 3 sets. Rest for about 30 seconds between sets. What makes this exercise particularly valuable for people over 60 is the circulatory benefit. Your calf muscles act as a second heart. When they contract, they pump blood back up to your core. A study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found that calf exercises improved venous return by 31% in older adults. This means less swelling in your feet and ankles and better overall circulation. Now let me show you something even more powerful for your lower body. Number 7. Wall marches. This exercise is going to wake up your hip flexors and challenge your balance in the best possible way. Wall marches might look like you are just lifting your knees, but the benefits go far deeper than what meets the eye. Your hip flexors are a group of muscles at the front of your hip that lift your leg with every step you take. The problem is that most people over 60 have hip flexors that are both tight and weak at the same time. A study from the American Journal of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation found that 63% of adults over 60 had clinically significant hip flexor weakness. This weakness directly contributes to shuffling gait patterns and increased fall risk. To perform wall marches correctly, stand with your back flat against the wall. Your feet should be about 6 inches away from the wall. Press your lower back into the wall and keep it there throughout the exercise. Now lift your right knee up toward your chest as high as you can while keeping your lower back pressed against the wall. Hold for 1 second at the top. Lower slowly and repeat with your left leg. That is 1 repetition. The wall behind you serves 2 critical purposes. First, it gives you stability so you can focus entirely on the hip lifting motion. Second, it provides feedback about your posture. If your lower back comes away from the wall, you know you are compensating with improper form. This feedback loop is incredibly valuable because it trains your body to maintain proper spinal alignment during movement. Research published in the Archives of Physical Medicine found that hip flexor strengthening exercises reduced lower back pain by 34% in adults over 65. This makes sense when you understand that weak hip flexors force your lower back muscles to work overtime. By strengthening the right muscles, you take pressure off your spine. Aim for 20 marches total, which means 10 on each leg. Perform 2 to 3 sets with a 1-minute rest between sets. As you get stronger, try holding each leg lift for 3 seconds instead of 1. But strengthening your hips is only part of the equation. The next exercise targets something equally important. Number 6. Wall slides. If you want to keep your shoulders healthy and mobile for the rest of your life, pay close attention to this one. Wall slides are what physical therapists call a corrective exercise. They fix the problems that modern life creates in your upper body. Here is the reality. Most people over 60 have shoulders that roll forward and upper backs that round. This is called kyphotic posture, and it leads to a cascade of problems including shoulder impingement, rotator cuff issues, and even breathing difficulties. A study in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that 71% of adults over 60 had some degree of kyphotic posture. Wall slides directly combat this problem. Stand with your entire back against the wall. Your feet should be about 6 inches from the wall. Press your lower back, head, and shoulder blades firmly against the wall. Now raise your arms and bend your elbows to 90 degrees like you are making a goalpost shape. Your elbows and the backs of your hands should touch the wall. From this position, slowly slide your arms up the wall, straightening them overhead. Then slowly slide them back down to the starting position. The magic happens in what you cannot see. When you perform this movement against a wall, it forces your shoulder blades to glide along your ribcage in the correct pattern. Research from the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports showed that just 4 weeks of wall slide exercises improved shoulder range of motion by 19 degrees on average. Participants also reported a 53% reduction in shoulder discomfort during daily activities. The key to making this exercise effective is keeping constant contact with the wall. If your elbows or hands come away from the wall, you have gone too far. Only work within the range where you can maintain contact. This might feel limited at first, but your range will expand quickly with consistent practice. Aim for 10 repetitions and 2 sets daily. The next exercise might just be the most important one for preventing falls. Number 5. Single leg wall stands. Balance is not something you have or you do not have. Balance is a skill that can be trained and improved at any age. And this exercise is one of the most effective balance builders I have ever seen for people over 60. The statistics around falls are sobering. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 1 in 4 Americans over 65 falls each year. Falls are the leading cause of injury and injury-related death in this age group. But here is the good news. A systematic review published in the Cochrane database found that balance exercises reduced the rate of falls by 23%. Single-leg wall stands are one of the most accessible and effective balance exercises you can do. Here is the setup. Stand sideways next to a wall with your right shoulder about 6 inches from the wall. Place your right hand on the wall for support. Shift your weight onto your left leg. Now slowly lift your right foot off the ground, bending your knee slightly. Hold this position for as long as you can with a goal of 30 seconds. Then switch sides. What makes this exercise so powerful is that it challenges your proprioception. That is your body's ability to sense where it is in space. As we age, our proprioceptive abilities naturally decline. A study in the Journal of Gerontology found that proprioceptive accuracy decreases by approximately 1% per year after age 55. But the same study found that balance training could restore proprioceptive function to levels seen in people 15 years younger. The wall is your safety net here. It allows you to challenge your balance without the fear of falling. As you get stronger, you can progress by using just your fingertips on the wall, then just one finger. Eventually, you might not need the wall at all for support. This progressive approach is key because it constantly challenges your nervous system to adapt and improve. Research from the University of Michigan showed that progressive balance training was 62% more effective than static balance exercises at reducing fall risk. Practice this exercise twice daily, aiming for 3 30-second holds on each leg. Now let us move to an exercise that builds serious leg strength. Number 4. Wall sit. The wall sit looks deceptively simple. You are just sitting against a wall, right? Wrong. This exercise creates a type of muscle tension that research shows is superior to many traditional exercises for building strength and lowering blood pressure. A landmark study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine analyzed different exercise types.